Hi everyone, thank you for joining us. For those of you that aren't watching live, please feel free to drop me an email with any questions that arise. Throughout this session today, you are welcome to drop in your questions. However, it's quite nice, we will have a Q&A at the end, so that's always a nice time to be asking your questions. Okay, so I'm Lynn Constantine, for anyone out there that doesn't know me. Most people do, but I am the Customer Success Manager here at Supermums, and I'm always delighted to talk to people about their career journey, to find out exactly how we can help and guide you through to the next stage of your career, or obviously if you're starting out. If you're watching this, the likelihood is that you're already working towards Data Cloud. But if you need me for anything, absolutely come and find me. So Jeremy, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Yes, thank you. So yes, I'm Jeremy. I'm the Director of Digital IT Europe. We are a company that basically work only on non-profit, and we help NGOs progress in the Salesforce ecosystem. But today I'm more for my second hat, which is instructor, and I'm going to talk to you a bit more about the Data Cloud training that we do at Supermum.
Great, thank you. So you will probably know Supermum's mission is to reduce the gender pay gap, support women returners, increase the diversity of women in tech, increase the financial resilience of families, and address the digital skills gap. However, as you will likely know, Supermum started in 2016 with this complete mission, and although we still do adhere to this mission, we also now have organisations that train their teams up, and we have mums, dads and everyone else. So everyone is welcome to train within Supermums. So Discover Data Cloud is the conversation, the topic of today. And I would like Jeremy to give a little bit of an insight into an overview, first of all, of the course and what it offers, and then we'll go into what Data Cloud is and how you can get into that as well.
Yeah, so as I'm going to talk a bit more about Data Cloud, I just want to say that we have a training that is like 3 weeks long training where basically we try to cover Data Cloud, but from a view of someone that never touched it. So I seen before we started recording, you were talking about, you want to learn to crawl before you walk and you run, etc. I want to say that the Data Cloud, as it said, Discover is really a training made for everyone. You don't necessarily need to have a strong expertise on Salesforce to be able to follow it, because it's a platform that is slightly different than the Salesforce core, that you will get used to it, especially if you're learning the admin. So anyone can learn it. Like me, I'm coming more from the marketing side of it, and I still learn it and got the hang of it through a different angle, but it's still a platform that you can learn from any level, I would say. And I will explain a bit more later, kind of like the doors that you open when you start learning it. So it's a great training where we do, like things like hands-on exercises, real case scenario, and we just progress with weeks by learning bit by bit until the final part. And we try to cover more or less, like you see here, there's a little logo about certified data cloud consultant. So we try to cover, I would say, 80 to 90% of what will be inside the certification, which obviously need to dig a bit deeper, if you want to buy the certification, but just with the training, you get a very solid foundation.
I think, yeah, you're right with that. And I think as well to add, with Supermums, there's a really great wraparound of support and guidance as well that you get. There's all sorts of other things that go on in the background. There are sessions from time to time. There is career advice drop-in sessions. So, there's lots of support out there that we will do to help you. And I suppose just a question for you, Jeremy, on the back of what you've just said. So we would normally recommend the foundational knowledge for a Salesforce career is admin. It's always good to know Salesforce, but In terms of prerequisites, is there anything that you would have to do before you do this? I know you've touched on that, but it just might be an interesting question.
No, and I think that even if you like, no, I don't have the link in front of me, but it's like I believe that you don't even have prerequisite if you try to do the certification of that.
Okay.
So I mean, I had the admin certification before I did this one. So
Yeah.
it's good because it gives you a bit of foundation, especially because there's some package to deploy. So it's always a good to have.
Yeah.
But I'm far from being an admin expert. You know, like I say, I'm more
Yeah.
marketing cloud side. So I get some gist of it, but I would say I don't feel like it's really, really necessary. So
Okay.
yeah.
Great to know. Thank you. Okay, so why is data cloud so important? Great question. I hear everyone asking.
So I think data cloud is becoming more and more important because it's a tool where basically you connect all your data. So you know how today we're having more and more data coming from a lot of different places. Data cloud allows you to bring all that together. So it's really I would say the the backbone of whatever you're going to build on Salesforce. So it's kind of like unify all your data sources and you unify it in real time because you can really connect, like someone does a click, boom, the data appear in data cloud and therefore you can react on it. And what is interesting is like you will build a single view of your supporter or anyone, you know, a client, etc. that you will have in there. I put supporter because it's like I work in non-profit, but I would say it's any type of business. So it's really a view of bringing all the contact together. So for example, someone does an action on an e-commerce side, but you have also your CRM and maybe you have some data warehouse information. You would bring all that together and then you will build that singular view. So you can better personalize all this. So it's really like a tool that will allows you to personalize in detail because you will be able to view all those data. And once you have set up all that and when it's all connected and structured correctly, it's the foundation of everything. So that's why data cloud is becoming more and more important because I don't know if you guys follow the Salesforce activity actuality, but there's a big push into tools like Marketing Cloud on Core. So me, I'm more Marketing Cloud, the legacy tool, but the Marketing Cloud Core rely on Data Cloud. Agentforce rely on Data Cloud. So it's the foundation for a lot of automation. So that's why it's really important is a very important tool because I would say it's the base of all your data. And I can foresee a future where all the data is going to be connected to this. So yeah, and more important is like you will have a way of having real insight on your data, not just like take action, but you can also extract it once you consolidate it, push it to tools like a BI tool like Power BI, and have like more insight, so you can just be reacting, faster in a smarter way.
Great. And, I expect those of you that were at Salesforce World Tour, Agentforce World Tour, whatever way you want to call it, the other day, Data Cloud was really on everyone's lips. So I think that's really important. I know I said, let's have a Q&A at the end, which we will have, of course. But when we talk about single source of truth, has anybody got any specific questions related to that at this point?
Well, it's funny actually because I've come across another company that where they mentioned the single source of truth, and it's called a company called Databricks. So is Data Cloud like a data lake? Is
So
that
it's
sorry?
a
If you're going to explain it later, yeah.
no. It's like it's a very funny one because actually, if you do the training with me, it's actually something we answer right at the beginning to explain what is data cloud, which I didn't include there. But we often talk about that about like a data warehouse
Yeah.
where you have very structured information and everything is in as its place and like you have a very strong hierarchy, and then you have data lake where you put a lot of data, not necessarily structured, but you dumped a lot of information. And Data Cloud sits a bit in the middle, like in the Salesforce terminology, call it like a data lake house. So it's
Okay.
house and data lake. They mix it. Why? Because you can put a lot of information and you can connect any type of source, but they go all through a data model that is allow it to have a kind of like structure. So when you ping through that model, you will have plenty of source connected in a different way, and they all go through them, and you can just find the information. So if I don't know, if you imagine that you have some information about supporters, like an ID, a first name, last name, an email, and they all come from different places, maybe not structured in the same way, because one is called e-email, another one email, another one with a different name, and you would just connect it through a single table that has a structure. Information, everything goes through this and allows you to have a structure. So that's why we said that a data cloud sits between a data warehouse and a data lake, just because they have that specific architecture.
Oh, cool. Okay, that's perfect.
Right.
Yeah, that's yeah. So I've heard that terminology before, and yeah, it makes sense because like you have a data warehouse, you have a data lake, you have a data lake house, and then you have some systems in between which are structured and unstructured, or
Exactly.
yeah, exactly, or have been cleaned, and as it were, it's raw. So yeah, interesting. It's quite new to me. I never heard of this thing until quite recently.
And if that's something that interests you, I really advise you to if you cannot do the next session, maybe the one after. I think we have another one in September, October, or maybe between September, October. I don't remember exactly the date.
Yeah, I think it's September off the top of my head. I haven't got that date to hand, but if anybody needs the date, then obviously towards the end, I'm going to put some details in where you can find anything out. We can have a one-to-one conversation if you need to. So
that would be wonderful, because one of the things I am thinking about is my post-admin course that I would like to study, and this is one of the areas that I actually have looked at because of the nature of the way businesses are going, where they're going towards the more data and AI side of things within their portal, for example, because it's software, you can make it whatever you want as long as you have the code and the designers and the structure. You can pretty much do whatever you want.
Well, I've just made a note of that, Asim, and I'll send you an email afterwards with the exact dates.
Sure. Thanks.
Okay. Carry on as you were, Jeremy, please.
So you could ask yourself, okay, I understand data cloud, I understand why it's important, but why should you learn it? I think the answer can be obvious, but I would say that the way, like why we learn it and why you should learn it, because we during the training start with real, start with essential concept, like I just explained, like what is data cloud, data lake, etc. And we will explain a bit more, why the tool was created. But we also do some real, like hands-on learning by doing practical exercises, and the way of doing that is just going through it. And I would say after that, the aim for me is really like for you to get certified. So that's kind of like the aim of why learning this, because then that's when you can start applying, what you learn in real life projects. And I would say the moment you manage to get through this, it will open a lot of doors, because you say, I seem like, oh, it's like one of the one that I want to learn. It's definitely one that people should focus on and try to learn it, because it's the base of Agentforce, is the base on some part of the CRM, because Data Cloud, you can push those information into the CRM and have like more interesting information. Is the base on, I was mentioning Marketing Cloud Encore, not the Marketing Cloud Engagement, but Marketing Cloud Encore, or the Marketing Cloud Next. I think in Connection they were putting that name, which will help on all of those ones. So definitely, I would say learn Data Cloud, because it will help you with this, and then you can make the best of it. Like for example, I talk about the Marketing Cloud aspect, because you will do a lot of segmentation. So the better you are with be able to pull those information, the more advanced you will be able to segment. Like recently, we were talking with a big charity in the UK on explaining, like how Data Cloud could help them with the lead management on all those people, and then how once they do a donation, you want to be able to know like where that person come from, what was the interest at the beginning, and just learning, and then so you can segment and have like more relevant communication. So you see that Data Cloud will help you on marketing, but I mean you can do the same with Agentforce by creating cases, or I've done one day an exercise on Agentforce, which was creating an agent helping answer people on service. So having like all the sources to know where that person come from, what they have done, potentially what they have purchased, the product, where they are, and have a sentiment on how is that case going, will also help you. And if you see some of the Salesforce stack, they often put Data Cloud as a foundation. So definitely something that you can learn. And is what I say sometimes is not where you stop, but it's where you help you jump ahead, because it's like, maybe you're not a big data guy, but you will enjoy learning it, because then you know that that's going to be useful for whatever tool you want to go after that. So definitely, I would say Data Cloud is really a tool that you want to focus, because it's touching everything. There's some tools in Salesforce that are really niche, which you can be a great consultant, like focusing on that aspect. But I would say Data Cloud is helpful for any type of tools that you will have inside the Salesforce stack.
Yeah, and I read, and you'll probably be able to clarify this for me, that you can't build an agent without Data Cloud. Is that right?
You have some part of it that would be linked to it, and you will need some part of Data Cloud for some aspect of it. So definitely it's needed. Same for Marketing Cloud Core is mandatory to have Data Cloud. So again, another good reason of why you would want to learn Data Cloud.
Great, thank you very much. Okay, I've just noticed that I say Heather. I'm not Heather.
Yeah.
I'm Lynn.
I must say, but then you introduced yourself at the beginning, so
I was going to change it, but it just hasn't happened. Anyway, so if you are thinking about learning Data Cloud, our course with the lovely Jeremy, so you will have already met the trainer, is over 3 weeks. It will be 7 hours per week. There will be 2 sessions on a Wednesday and a Thursday from 6 till 9:30 p.m. Now, the time is obviously beneficial if you're working. It's also beneficial if you're not in the UK. So that's why we choose that particular time. That is BST, that is UK time. Again, if you're planning to do the next one, which I think is on the next slide, yes it is, it starts very soon on the 2nd of July. As I said to Asim, if anyone needs the dates and times of the following course, let me know. If you're looking for yourself as an individual, have a chat with me and I can give you some further information. But the deadline to enroll is Monday. I think the 23rd is Monday. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah.
I think so. The cost is £1,600. You can pay in full, but again, there are payment plan options. So if you want to know more about that, absolutely ask me. I will drop in the chat my link to my email address, but it's simply Lynn, Lyn, @supermums.org. I think there may be a question in the chat. Oh yeah, okay, Tamsin. Hi, Tamsin. I'll make sure you get that as well. That's great. Okay. Right then, let's move on to the next one. I think, would you like to talk through the actual sessions and give a little bit more detail on that, please, Jeremy?
Yeah, sure. So the way the training is divided is to to help you, because I would say the official Salesforce training normally is a 3-day course to help you guys with your normal day-to-day life. We do like half sessions and spread over the 3 weeks, as Lynn was saying. The first session is more an introduction.
I think somebody's got their microphone on. Okay, we're all good, I think.
So what I was saying is that the first session is more an introduction to Data Cloud, like concept that I just explained before, talking about the data models and how they work and how they are structured. So it's more like to understand why we're doing this. And then the second session is when we start putting the hands in the tool, where we ingest the data. So we start, as I say, Data Cloud, you want to connect as many sources as you need for your use cases. as we have some specific use cases because we use a real life exercises or real life scenarios, and we connect, data cloud, we connect things like Amazon, and we bring all that with different type of data. So we do the second session, which is more about ingesting the data. So we learn about the different way of ingesting it from the Salesforce CRM, from an external with API. So we work on all those different scenarios. On the third session, which is spread over the fourth one, we do the harmonization. So harmonization is more about the part where we are standardizing a bit all the data that we ingested. So I mentioned before we assume that you can bring a lot of different type of data in Data Cloud. The aim is more to be able then to structure it. So when you want some insight, everything has the same aspect. And then the unification. So that's fourth and fifth session where we create some rules and we explain how does data relate together, how it should be brought together to create that unique profile. So we want to know that Jeremy Garcia exists, he has bought that product, he rented that car, he did that action, and all that is unified under one profile. And once we have done that unification, then we can start playing with the data. And that's why we have the session 5 and 6, where we are doing some insight, we are segmenting, and then we acting on data, meaning that we are taking that data out of Data Cloud to be pushed into, for example, Marketing Cloud if we wanted to send an email to a specific segment. So you see, it's really from the beginning where we ingest data to the last part where we actually use all the data we work with unified and structured in order to have like proper segments.
Right, thank you.
And all those phases, all those topics are basically what you will find inside the certification, which I'm just going to pop in the chat for everyone. But it's just a way of saying that whatever we do here is covered by the certification. And you can see kind of like the percentages, and you will see that we cover all the different exam outlines, but obviously in some of them you will have to go and work a bit deeper, and that's why also Lynn mentioned, that there's the aspect of Super Mondays around it. We also have like a learning area where you have links to Trailhead if you want to go deeper. Sometimes I even ask people to do that before the session, so they can also go faster and ask me more questions than just like digesting the information I'm throwing at them.
And for those eagle-eyed editors out there, you may notice that the time is different on this page to the last page. So have we changed it, Jeremy?
Yeah, because remember it was not working for the time that we have originally, which was later, and it was not working because of the kids at home. And yeah,
so it's 1 till 4:30. So just to clarify and to be clear on that, the time of the training is 1 till 4:30 BST. It's not Greenwich Mean Time, it's British Summer Time now. But anyway, we'll obviously make sure that that's changed for the next session. But just to confirm, it's Wednesdays and Thursdays from 1 till 4:30 UK time. Thank you. We'll make sure we get that changed. Okay, right. Okay, this is on everybody's lips. So do you want to go in a little bit more detail about Agentforce and how, how this is such a great journey for us to all have with Data Cloud?
Yeah, so as I was saying, Data Cloud is a good foundation if you want to go a bit deeper on the data, because you need that data on those integration if you want to be stronger on Agentforce. So that's why I like to do in that order. Obviously, some people may come from Agentforce and realize, that they needed to go deeper on Data Cloud, and that's totally fine. But yeah, a natural next step or parallel step would be Agentforce, which is, I would say, the future of everything you're going to see in Marketing Cloud. In Salesforce, there's no part of Salesforce now that doesn't have an AI component. So you definitely want to go deeper on Agentforce. It's a great tool. There's plenty of training online that you can have a look if you're wondering if that's something for you, and then contact us if you want to go deeper on that topic. But definitely something that everybody should learn, and even myself, I'm questioning now that I should maybe become a bit more expert. But right now, there's so many tools that is hard to keep up. You know, when you have your
I
day-to-day
know.
job and everything to your business to run, it's like
Yeah.
there's so many things I see in connection, like so many great new tools and new functionality that I want to explore, but it's a bit hard. So yeah, and that's why there's organization like Supermom that just help you, you know, like organize yourself, because sometimes there's so many new shiny things that it's hard to, you know, to focus on what, and that's why we organize this training, and that's why we have like a structured training for Data Cloud. That's why we also support Agentforce. So please reach out to Lynn if you want to know a bit more.
And I think it's genuinely an exciting time to be alive, isn't it? When you think that this, Agentforce is just on everybody's lips. When we went to World Tour, as I said, it's all everybody was talking about was Data Cloud and Agentforce. And I think it's just, there's so much to learn at the moment. And I spoke to a guy actually yesterday who was in the US. He works for Salesforce in the US, and he's just put him and another of the team members that work for Salesforce in his office on the Data Cloud for that very reason. So you'll see 2 new guys on there. But it's great. I had the conversation with him and he said the same. Agentforce is the future. Everything is going to revolve around this. So I think it's a great time to get involved for sure.
Yeah.
So he's just flown in to ask if there's any questions. So I know that we did touch on questions back, but has anyone got any questions? Please feel free to drop them in the chat or put your camera on and ask.
I've got a question.
Great. Hi, Tamsin.
Hi, Sim. It's so funny. I saw him. We're on the same cohort together. The times that you're doing it are during the day 1 to 4. This is something that I'm quite interested in doing, but I would need to get time off work because I'm self-funding my own skilling up. Is there any chance? Oh, Sim's nodding as well. Is there any chance that you'd be doing this in the evening at some point?
So if it's maybe by someone else, the prime I have Tamsin is just for family time, like the kids. I don't have any to take care of them, and I don't have to take care of them every night, but the night that I have to, I cannot avoid it. So that's why
No worries.
I know Supermom kind of like asked me to push later also for people more in North America to be able to join.
Okay.
It just was impossible for me. I mean, like we tried one time and it's like I cannot focus. I hear them, they come to me, ask me stuff, and it's like at the end it's not a great experience for anyone.
No.
So
I get that. Mine's older and he still does it. So I get it completely. It's just, I'm just in that position where unless a course is in the evening, unfortunately, I won't be able to dedicate the time to it, unfortunately.
The only thing to say is, as everyone knows, everything is recorded. I know that's not ideal, but if you could join any of the sessions, maybe you could join one of the sessions and then watch the other session on recording or something like that. May be an option. It's definitely something to get into, and I think the fact that you already know the support and guidance and assistance that Supermums give.
Yeah.
Alongside, I mean, I know me for one, when I started my Salesforce journey, I started doing some Trailhead, but for me, I can't self-teach. I need some support.
Yeah,
so
that's why I'm on cohort.
Yeah, I know you are. I know that. I know. But just to say, really, if anyone's got any specific questions that they don't ask today, please feel free to come back to me, and I'll be more than happy to help. I have put my email address in there. If you want to call with me, just send me an email and I'll send you a link to book into my Calendly diary. If you've got a question that I can't answer, find Jeremy on LinkedIn. I'm sure he won't mind, or of course myself, or email me and I'll find out from Jeremy and come back to you. But does anyone else have anything else? You're welcome.
And maybe just to jump back on the
Sure.
recording aspect of the training, just for you to note, Antlin, on the last training I've done, there was also a girl that was like watching the recording. So I try to have the session to be as interactive as possible. I ask everybody to have the webcam. We talk a lot. So obviously it's better to be live. But I had someone that was watching the recording, sometimes sending me emails about, what about the exercise, or I didn't get that working, and we were just like more asynchronous way, but it was still working for that person. I think she joined like one session at some point. So yeah, even if you were considering having to do that, to have the flexibility of maybe catch up in the evening, that can be done as well.
Well, you never know. I'll try and work on the powers that be. Maybe I'll get the time off. Who knows?
Okay.
Yeah, if it's a Salesforce organisation, get them to fund it as well, Tamsin. A lot of people do.
They threw me into Marketing Cloud at the deep end, so I need this.
I have just put in the chat as well. Has anyone actually already enrolled, or is anybody planning to do this one? Only really just so that I know who to look out for, and who's already enrolled. I don't think any of the names here are jumping out as having enrolled already, but prove me wrong. Okay, I'm going to take that as a no. So does anyone have any more questions? Take that as a no. Jeremy, do you want to add anything?
No. Just one thing that is always a pleasure to talk to you all, but that's it.
Okay, and obviously from me, the same. Oh, somebody's just put not at the moment. Okay, thank you for letting me know that. But if you've got any questions about it, like I say, just drop me an email and I'll be delighted to answer you. As always, I love talking to you as an individual, so please reach out to me. Please, let's have a conversation. Let's talk about what you've done in the past, your industry knowledge, transferable skills, and let me direct and advise you the best way forward. So once again, thank you so much for joining us today, and I look forward to seeing you on your career journey. Take care. Thank you.
See you on. Bye-bye.
Hey, thanks.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.